Good day, students. And on these times of uncertainty, the only certainties are taxes and final exams. With all the stress of the quarantine, I'll give you finals with less stress. I'll present to you 3 effective studying techniques. And before you start presenting, I'd like you to go to MS Teams and open my presentation file. The first one is pre-testing. How you can do this is by taking a test before every study session, or you can take a test when starting a new unit. You can see the difference of people who haven't taken pre-tests and people who have by looking at this information right here. Students who pre-tested and then studied scored 74% on the test, and students who didn't pre-test and studied scored 55% on the test, as you can see in the data. This is a big 19% difference that will make a big difference. The reason this works is because your brain looks for keywords when testing. These words will be helpful when studying later. Your brain will be alert when it sees those words again. This will cause longer retention of the information. And last but not least, a pre-test will let the students know what most likely will be on the test. Next up is the interleaving practice. And before we continue, I must say this is especially effective in fields of mathematics or math-related sciences, like physics or chemistry. The way you can do this is by trying to find different ways to do the same problem instead of doing the way you were taught. And then deciding what method you like the most. The effects of this method are big. After a day in interleaving practice, scores of students were 80%, while those of students who study normally are only 64%. These effects are more notorious over prolonged periods of time. After a month with one interleave practice, scores averaged 74%, while with one study session, scores were only 42%. This means interleave practice upgrades long-term memory. Why this works is because your brain tries to find several solutions to the same problem. This increases your problem-solving skills. Also, you let your brain learn the fastest and most effective method, and also your brain gains skills in problem solving. The next one is tracking the curve of forgetting. The curve of forgetting is a graph showing the percent of memory retention after X amount of time. How you can study like this is study a small amount of time every week or every couple of days, and study within 5 days of the original lecture. This is better than the cram studying. The effect of this is that after 30 days, your brain will remember 50% of the information of the original lecture. If you don't study, this number would be down to like 2 to 3%. That could be like, if you study with this method, you can remember 15 times more than if you don't. The reason why this works is because your brain is actively recalling the lecture. It is better than cram studying because your mind is fresh, and also it raises the curve of forgetting, which decreases exponentially. And finally, if you have any doubts, you have time to ask the teachers. My references for this presentation are right here. The pre-testing effect by Nate Cornell in 2009. Also, the curve of forgetting by University of Waterloo, has no author, and made in March 26, 2014. And finally, interleave practice, improved mathematics learning by Doug, Robert F. Dedrick, and Sandra Stershik in 2014. And I hope these studying techniques will help you have a better scores than my fashion sense. Goodbye.